Hi, thanks yet again for clicking. It's me coming back at you, this time at the PM hours of the evening, as what most hours of the evening are usually PM. Most of the time, so they say. Coming at you with another topic that I think I thought of yesterday and jotted down on the old topic list yesterday. And since it's so relevant now, I guess it's been relevant for the past 30 so years of my life, but I don't know, just because it's this time of year and my particular place where I live in one of the cold you people who watch a lot of my videos are probably sick of me saying this, but in case someone who hasn't seen any of my videos is watching this, I live in a cold state, cold winter state of the of America. That's one of the coldest states in America during the winter. And during this time of year, February, mid to late February is when I particularly feel like I'm just getting so cabin fever is just, I'm getting so wound up. And as a matter of fact, this very month, one of my dad's friends killed him, shot himself in the head and killed himself in this very month. So I imagine a lot of people that live in, my state or, these cold winter horrible states and maybe whatever, I imagine maybe February is a high suicide month because I feel it, the winter, just the accumulation of weeks and weeks and months of winter just kicking your ass. So anyway, that's where I am right now, and that's why probably the topic came to mind, and that's why I'm just going to do it now so I can cross it off the list, which is life has really left me a bitter man, really left me bitter. And there's a lot of people that I come in contact with over the years, coworkers and stuff who have, and I guess, who can blame them, rightfully so, who have referred to me, to my face as being negative or a pessimist or, just a negative pessimist, that kind, along those lines. And I guess I'm not going to deny that I'm not. I like to refer to myself more as realistic than anything else, but I guess, I can't say that I'm not pessimistic, that by definition, or negative, but that's just because, like I say, life has just left me bitter. What can I tell you? There's that one guy who said, every action has an equal or opposite reaction. That one guy said that, him. Remember him? And I think this is just a demonstration of that particular saying, which is, a life of, resentment, and a life of, not a life of abuse, but I grew up in a kind of an abusive situation, where I'm going to make a video about that one of these days soon. Tell my story about, having grown up with a couple of parents that fought, and then when they got divorced, my mom took me and took out all her, frustrations on me, both physically and mentally. And it's just a shitty way to grow up. Let's face it, and I challenge any of these people who call me out, as it were, and call me pessimistic and who shame me for being pessimistic or negative. I challenge these people to grow up with the personality, meaning potentially highly sensitive personality that I have, had and have, and grow up in that environment, that abusive, worrisome environment of never knowing when your mom's gonna just fly off the deep end and go crazy and start yelling, and living in an environment of fear and uncomfortability-ness. That's why a great part of me resents it when people call me that. But I know that my particular, disposition is just, it's not something that, it's just a natural reaction to the, the life and the personality, the life I've lived and the personality I have with which to see that life through, the eyes that I have to see, to watch, to see that life or to experience that life, So I don't really know what what else this video is about, other than just my, I think that it's very possible that I'm, kind of like potentially, although not on the surface, I don't think it's really on the surface, but inside I'm definitely like, I don't know if I'd say angry person, but definitely a frustrated person, because when your whole life is just, again, when you live your whole life against the grain and unable to connect with people, and you spent your whole school, all your years of school and middle school and high school and everything just with women not, and even knowing I exist and not paying me any attention. And I was really fortunate to have what I would regard as a really good friend that I met in middle school and that I kept all the way through high school and stuff like that. So I do feel very fortunate to have had a friend who I really identified with, and we were like two peas in a pod, really. And he's the guy I made that video with, and that video that I uploaded. I can't remember what it's called, but I think it's called something like a short video me and a friend and I made when we were 15. I uploaded it several videos back, but I was very very close to him. I mean, I don't know if it was mutual, but on my end, we just loved so much of the same things. I was and still am a huge horror buff. And I think actually, possibly, I would say most likely growing up in the environment I grew up in was, why I became so fascinated at the age of, 11 and on in horror movies, probably is because of just the horrible, situation I grew up in. I think that's probably common for a lot of horror fans, which only makes sense. But I guess just maybe watching violence, fake violence on the screen is some way for me to just like, watch it and not and to experience potentially maybe a way to work through my demons by, watching fake on-screen violence happen. Don't get me wrong, I hate violence for real. I actually almost get nauseous. Not so much anymore because I'm getting so coarse in my older age. But when I was, younger and stuff, if I saw like in real life, like a fight or someone arguing or, I don't like real life violence at all. And I think that that's why my interest in horror movies and stuff was so lethargic. Or not lethargic, cathartic. Cathartic for me is because you can watch this, and what's great about it is it's not like you're watching, real people being gunned down in, in Vietnam or some Middle East country. The violence you're seeing is fake, and if I may say so, I mean, if it's done by, with a certain flair, I mean, it's art as much as anyone would, like to disagree or call me sick for saying so. I mean, if movies, or at least good movies or whatever, are art, and, the people who make them are also probably, it's probably cathartic for them to make violent movies as much as it is for us to watch them. But I don't know where I was going before I got off on the whole violent movies thing, but I was just talking about my friend who I identified so much with. But I guess that's it. I mean, life has just left me bitter. And like I say, I just resent it whenever people, call me out on it, which isn't often. I mean, because I don't see anyone and I don't know anyone. But this particular coworker, this was way back in like 2007, who said this and stuff. So, I mean, it hasn't happened doesn't happen often or in a long time. That's because, I don't know, I think, after my dad died 4 years ago or whatever, 4.5 years ago and stuff, and my last job I had of 3 years, I think that when I was at work, I mean, it would be my escape from my just nothing, drab, empty life at home. So I think I'd tend to be maybe in the last 4 years since his death at work, maybe a little more positive, because if you ended up with a group of coworkers, as I've said in the past in other videos, that you click with and like and stuff, it's a positive experience. And it's, work at the time was my only real social outlet, except for just talking up people at stores when you go and buy shit. So that's probably why, I haven't really been called out on it recently. But I guess that's it. I don't for 1 minute, consider my position in life or my position wrong. Oh, I think what I was getting at before is I'm I may be, the word angry comes to mind, but I think it's more frustration. Yeah, that's what I was saying before, and then I got all sidetracked. The frustration of just not having girls, not even knowing you're alive in my whole school, K through 12 experience, and just not really having anyone even, for that matter, knowing I exist or anything like that. And just being so different and against the grain my whole life, it leaves you, or it leaves me bitter, and has left me bitter. Not to say, and I don't want you guys to think I go out in the world, and sometimes I do if I'm in a shitty mood, but not all the time. I don't go out in the world like, Ebenezer Scrooge or anything like that, and I'm not like, bah humbug. I mean, I am about certain things, just because I think certain things are pathetic. But it's not like I don't go out. I try to project. It's that whole saying, "Be the change you want to see in the world." I try to go out in the world and be, really just a pleasant person when I deal with people, when I'm at stores, when I'm buying stuff. I have a smile on my face. I try to be a positive influence. I don't try. I am a positive. Well, I guess when I say, yeah, I like to say, but whatever. We'll go back to say I try to be a positive influence among people that I meet, and people at their jobs and at stores and stuff. So I guess we'll leave it there. Just being at this particular time, and especially a day before Valentine's Day, I just, that might be a part of it too. I just, and another thing is this winter has been just crushing our balls here where I live. It's just like November was abnormally cold. We had like January temperatures in November, and we'd have this whole winter was just like this, a roller coaster of, below average temperatures, and then back to average, and then back to below average. And it's just like every week that it's like below average, I think, well, this will be the last week, and it's gonna be like 7 or 6 degrees Fahrenheit tomorrow on Valentine's. I always want to say Thanksgiving, on Valentine's Day. And it's just like every time we have one of these Arctic cold things, I think, well, have fun, cold, because that's the last time you're gonna be here. And it's just like, then it comes back 1 or 2 weeks later, and it's just like, so that this winter is just kicking my ass as well. So that's all those things combined just drew me to compelled me to do this particular topic. So I guess we'll leave it at that. Feel free to leave any comments, what you feel about life. How has life left you? Has life left you bitter, or has life left you grateful for great things that have happened in your life? So thank you once again very much for watching, and as always, I will catch you on the next video.